Hey, how's it going?
Going all right. How are you doing?
Really, really well.
Good to hear. I mean this, and I'm really not saying this to anyone else, but I'm pretty sure you guys have made the album of the year.
Well, thank you.
It's just amazing the entire way through. We've been playing it here at FPK for most of the summer, and I think we even debuted it on my show on the weekly feed, maybe back in April. It seems like even before the single was ready. There were some demos out there, so.
Yeah. We put a couple, or at least a demo out before, well before the rest of the record came out.
Yeah. So that goes a long way to say I'm quite a fan. So really do appreciate
Awesome.
you
Well,
taking
thank you
the
so
time
much.
today.
I'm glad to have support.
Yeah, definitely. So for the uninitiated, I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about how the band Fun came about, how it got started, how you guys got kicked off.
Sure. Well, Nate and I had toured together extensively, and I had even played as a member of the Format, his old band, both with my band, Onathala, and after I parted ways with Onathala, I linked up for a tour with them, playing some horns and some keys. And he and Jack had also toured together quite extensively with Jack's band, Steel Train. So then I was working, I had released a musical and was working on a children's album, and Nate called me and asked if I would like to join a new band. And he said, the Format had kind of disintegrated the day before, and he didn't want to stop making music, and so he said that I think the first phone call that he made about it, and then he called Jack as soon as I said I would be interested, and a week later we were in New York making music together. And really, it gelled super fast. I guess every band that people are in high school or whatever has the fortune of playing together, learning together, growing up together a bit. And we didn't really have that luxury. We just kind of sat in a room and hoped that it would work. And fortunately it did. There was really a very short period of getting to know each other musically. And most of our time was spent just in a really exciting flurry of creativity. So it was,
Wow.
it really came together relatively quickly.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy that it just happened like that. The sound that you came up with, I mean, it's unabashedly pop. Definitely no apologizing. Did you guys know that's what it was going to be?
We never actually talked about making a pop record, being a pop band, etc. We just kind of wrote songs. We wrote 10 or 12 and just decided to, just let each song go wherever it wanted to go. Like, for example, At Least I'm Not as Sad as I Used to Be has a more like calypso type feel. And Bar Lights has maybe a more like typical shuffle feel, like you might hear like in a bar or something. So yeah, there was never really any discussion. We just wanted to let the songs themselves dictate the overall sound of the band. And we still have really never talked about sound.
Right.
We've just talked about, like, I want to write a song like this, or I want to write a song, that describes this particular scenario, or whatever. We talk about song-to-song basis, but we don't really ever talk about our overall sound. I think we just kind of let that fall wherever it does.
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely one of the things that made the record stand out above everything else because, I don't know, it seems like when some people do that, it can come off as, they definitely try to do it, so it comes off as pretentious. But the way you guys did it, it's just one of those perfect little great pop albums that you don't hear, I don't hear anything else like it right now. So it's, personally, it's kind of the amazing thing.
Well, yeah, we're happy with it. It's an album that I can listen to and enjoy, or at least feel. I don't know. Never mind. Don't play that part.
I can take that part out. It's cool. As a show about the blogs and everything, of course, that's where we found you guys. I think it was buzzgrinder.com, maybe, if I remember right. Sean over there is just a big fan and passed it to me. How big a part did the blogs play in it? Because it seems to me at this point you've gained a lot of your notoriety from kind of what's going on across the web right now.
Yeah, the blog situation is strange because it's hard to get a good gauge of who's reading what blog and whether that's actually playing a role in who's listening to your music, if you're picking up any new fans. I think I tend to blog search a lot. I'm a big Google guy, and so I'll type in our record and look for reviews or show reviews or whatever. And it looks like a decent amount of blogs were at least mentioning like, or at least introducing us. I don't know if we had the blog buzz that, say, like Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah had a few years ago or whatever. I don't think we ever had that kind of like blog machine rolling for us. But the ones that did mention us were kind, and I don't know. I really don't know. I think the ones I read didn't really talk about us. For example, like Pitchfork, even though that's not like a blog per se.
Right. But they fit into what we do, so.
They do. They're important still, and they didn't talk about us. But like, like Brooklyn Vegan is a blog, and they've mentioned, projects of mine before, and, I don't know. And Buzzgrinder obviously has been very, very kind to us. And then I guess like Insulin Funk too, like the little offshoot, or maybe not little, maybe just offshoot. I don't know. It's really hard for me to tell because I don't know who's reading it. Unless somebody comments, then I can't tell like what the site traffic is. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you guys, I do see you definitely massaging the web and using it as a tool. I mean, everybody is. Bringing it up as something different, would be being late to the game by about 4 or 5 years. But I just noticed on your Facebook page, was it grabbed 40,000 fans before yesterday, and everybody gets a Christmas track.
Yes.
Do you find yourself doing that a lot? I mean, is that something you guys are putting a lot of thought into? How do we utilize what's going on out there?
Yeah. I mean, we're just kind of trying to throw it all at the wall and see what sticks as far as that kind of thing goes. Like, whether it's our music video that came out recently or, like, videos from the road of, like, me being a jackass and talking about, like, hunting for an Olive Garden or whatever. Like, we're just trying to put a lot of content out and just kind of seeing what clicks. And also not just, like, hoping that something will catch fire and go viral and explode, but more just that I enjoy when bands have a lot of content available. Like, I love to be able to, like, get obsessed with a band and devour everything I can about them. Mm-hmm. For example, I really, really like Vampire Weekend, and so I will, image search them or search for, like, anything live I can find on YouTube or whatever I can, interviews, anything I can find. And so I guess I want to be a band that is fulfilling for a fan. Like, it's annoying to have nothing available, and I want people to be able to, like, be a part of what's happened, whatever we're doing. Mm-hmm. I think that's important. I think it's important for people to connect to it in some way, because that's what I like to do.
Yeah. Have you found yourself in any position yet where someone has become so invested on what they found of you online that it's gone a little bit too far, in person or anything like that? That might be further down the road. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. Not so much from like a dangerous or terrifying perspective, but people make us like backpacks or bracelets or cookies, or somebody like did our album cover in Rice Krispie treat form, which was awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so people do kind things, but nobody's been freaky yet, fortunately.
Yeah. Good. Well, it's definitely been the year of fun, the only year so far for fun, really. I mean, I guess you started late last year, but really taken off this year. You got one or two big memories of the year, something that really stood out above the rest, something cool?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if there were big moments like, looking out into a sea of 4,000 screaming kids. It wasn't so much like that, but there was a moment, maybe one of the happiest and most touching moments of my life happened this year. I actually haven't even thought about this until you just asked this question. It's really nice. We were at my cousin's wedding, and my dad was introducing me to people and was just kind of going off on a tangent about how brilliant I am and, about all this stuff about how successful we are and how great the record is and all that stuff. And how, and I think I was probably looking pretty disgusted or at least perturbed or whatever. And then afterwards he apologized and just said, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just really proud of you. And that was just a really nice, I guess, I know my parents are proud of me, but to just hear it so explicitly and just the way he said it and, the glistening of a tear in his eye, there was something very touching and something that I'll never forget about that moment. And knowing that, like, he loves the record, and my dad is a good gauge of music. He's always been a fan and a musician, and I don't know. Yeah, that was really great.
No, personally speaking, I think we, a lot of us strive for that exact moment you just had right there.
Yeah, and it's just not something that I've had, really. Like, I've always felt like in some ways I've made them proud, but, like, it was just so awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely, never going to forget that, that's how he felt or feels.
Fantastic story.
Yeah, it was really great. And another one, let's see. There was a moment when, this year. It wouldn't have been this year. Okay, well, Nate and Jack and I shot the video this year. Mm-hmm. And this is more like a fun, like, band moment, I guess. We had to give, like, a little play-by-play of the record on video, just, like, tell about each song, how it came about, what it means, etc. And it was just the three of us sitting on a bench in front of, like, our manager and a couple other people with our management company, just talking about the record. And for that little instant, a lot of the crap of the day fell away, like making a record, being a little, or making a video, being a little stressed out, knowing that the record is imminently coming out. Ticket sales weren't great for the tour, whatever. But that all sort of fell away for an instant, and it was just like the three friends talking about a record that they made, and remembering what that was like to have that spark of inspiration and all those good memories from the studio.
Yeah.
That was really nice. It's
Cool.
nice when like crap gets stripped away and you remember like the little moments that make things really wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I hope you got a ton more of those coming along too, and sounds like you've got plenty coming up. What is coming up for you guys next?
We're gonna tour in February. I think February 2nd is the first day of the tour, or maybe the 5th, one of the two, with Jack's Mannequin, and for about a month. Until then, we don't have anything on our plate, so I'm recording a solo EP, working on the art for my children's record, and we are just writing, hanging out.
Cool, awesome. Tell me about that children's album, Off the Record. I have a little boy, and that's what right now he's 2 years old, so I'm finding all the very cool children's albums. I mean,
it's awesome. There are a lot of really like hipster kind of children's albums.
Yeah, there definitely is. So if you've got something out, I'll definitely be looking out for that too.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's a first attempt. I'm a pretty young guy. I don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have to not be a young guy to have kids, but I don't know. It's weird, I think, to write songs for children when I don't really have a particular child in mind that I'm writing for. I just like kids' music. I've always liked Rafi and Tom Chapin, and They Might Be Giants put out some awesome kids records.
Sure.
So it's sort of in the vein of all that stuff, although it's a bit more DIY sounding. I recorded it all myself, and in my room, so it doesn't sound like it's Abbey Road or anything like that.
I think that could be one of the appealing things to it. I really do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Moldy Peaches have or Kimmy Dawson or whatever has a record.
It's one of our favorites. So.
Really, I haven't heard it. Is it cool?
Yeah, she's got some great stuff. Just some of the greatest off the wall stuff. When she's singing the alphabet, but it's all about butts and farts. So that is
so cool. I will definitely have to give that a listen.
Definitely a moment connection with a kid right there. It's like we're both laughing at this because I'm immature and you're small, so you think poop is funny anyway. Thanks so much for giving me the chance here. Good luck to you guys, especially when you get out to the new tour. Hopefully we'll see you sometime, if not in Louisville, then somewhere around it. So
sounds good.
All right,
have a good day.
You too.